David Silva is regarded as one of the most intelligent and technically gifted players to ever grace the Premier League.
Silva invited to shoot almost. He will now, won't he? Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Solo goal, David Silva.
During his time with Manchester City, he racked up 217 goal contributions, 92 league assists, which places him in 7th on the all-time Premier League list.
David Silva! Heard and Silva! Game, set, match, 3-0 Manchester City.
When you watch David Silva play, he never gets tackled. And I made the comment, it was almost like trying to tackle dust.
He won several individual and team accolades, including 3 PFA Team of the Year inclusions. But how good was he, and how high does he rank in terms of Manchester City's greatest? Welcome to Football Reminisce, and this is the career story of David Silva. David Jimenez Silva was born in the Canary Island to a Spanish father and a Japanese mother. From the tender age of 2, David would sneak out of his bed, find some fruits and kick them around the house. Eventually, Silva's grandmother got tired of finding potatoes and oranges all over the yard and decided to make balls from rags for him to play. At the age of 3, he finally got a ball and his love for the game became even more evident. During this period, he unfortunately broke his arm, but this did not stop him from playing. He carried on running around, kicking a ball despite wearing a plaster cast. At the age of 8, he joined the San Fernando youth team. This might sound weird now, but he actually played as a goalkeeper in the first few months with the team. Imagine David Silva as a goalie with all his attacking attributes, a goalkeeper with 98 in ball distribution. That would be crazy. Speaking of ball distribution, his coaches noticed that and other technical gifts that 9-year-old David Silva possessed. They immediately changed his position to a winger, where he played for the next 4 years. Valencia scouts were impressed by him and made an offer to sign the 14-year-old. Silva and his family were all shocked. This was a Valencia institution that was in great shape. Regular top 5 finishes for the first team in the late 90s, as well as a bright journey ahead that would see them compete for La Liga and the Champions League. A very exciting opportunity to train with the academy. Valencia came to sign me. I was a bit surprised at the beginning, but I accepted their offer and joined their junior team. Being a new environment, he initially struggled to keep up with the other kids, but as soon as he got used to things and got up to speed, nothing could stop him. He developed his passing technique, his ball control and his end product, and with the assistance of his youth coaches, he evolved to a different level. So much so that by the age of 17, he was promoted to Valencia's B side, who at the time were playing in the 3rd tier of Spanish football. He made 14 appearances. For the next 2 seasons, he was loaned out to 2 different teams to get more playing time and gain more experience. First, with Eibar in the 2nd division, where he made 35 appearances but played less than 700 minutes as most of them were from the bench. Regardless, it was a good experience as he scored 4 goals and Eibar were only 3 points off promotion to La Liga. He would get his chance to play in the top league the very next season, joining newly promoted Celta Vigo. His minutes increased significantly during this second loan spell, featuring for 2,712 minutes as he became a regular, leading Celta to a UEFA Cup spot in the same season they were promoted. Celta were interested in keeping the 20-year-old for at least another season, but Valencia were hearing none of it. It was time for him to return. So it was time for him to prove himself at Valencia. He became a regular almost immediately, featuring 51 times in his first season back. Despite Valencia having talents such as Villa, Morientes, Joaquin and Edu, the 20-year-old managed to stand out, contributing 9 goals and 7 assists as Valencia finished 4th in La Liga. Across the next 3 seasons of the Mestalla, Silva racked up 117 appearances and recorded 23 goals and 31 assists. This form helped Valencia win the 2007-2008 Copa del Rey, and from a personal standpoint, inclusion in Spain's 2008 Euro squad later that year, a tournament which Spain went on to win. Over in England, Manchester City were building a team which would compete with the Premier League's big dogs. After 10 years in Valencia's books, Silva decided it was time for a new challenge, moving to City for £24 million and joining alongside the likes of Yaya Toure, James Milner and Mario Balotelli that summer. As with several players arriving from the Spanish league, many people doubted if the small and silky Silva would adapt to the brutal physicality of the Premier League. Well, let's just say he did. He pulls the strings on the pitch, a brilliant footballer with great movement. He can score, assist, a player who decides a game. He's got so much to his game that I would consider him one of the best ever, the words of Iniesta. In his first season with City, Mancini deployed him on the wings, 19 times on the left and 11 times on the right. The versatility and ability to create chances from the flanks saw him contribute 15 assists. He also scored 6 times. Silva impressed the City faithfuls right away, winning the Player of the Month award in October, November and December. In an interview, Carlos Tevez gave the Spaniard high praise, saying, "Silva is the best signing Man City have made." The citizens had an unforgettable season, winning the FA Cup, their first piece of silverware in 35 years, and qualifying for the Champions League for the first time since 1967. Silva started the 2011-2012 campaign on fire. 2 goals, 2 assists and 2 Man of the Match awards in the first 4 games. This form continued, and in October, he won the Premier League Player of the Month award. His standout performance, close your eyes Man United fans, this 6-1 demolition of their Manchester neighbours, a goal and an assist. The assist, a superb volleyed pass to pick out Dzeko, who made it 6. This match is widely regarded as the 90 minutes that shifted the balance in power from the red side to the blue side.
Into David Silva, is he going to make it 5? Oh, this is a day to remember for Manchester City.
His intelligent attacking movement made it impossible to pick him up. Opposition managers didn't know where he would play. He would start as the left winger, occupy the free role in midfield, and if needed, he would cut in from the right side and punish the opponents. He also quickly formed a deadly partnership with newly acquired Sergio Aguero, assisting several of his 30 goals. He finished as the league's leader in assists and was included in the PFA Team of the Year as Manchester City won their first ever Premier League title in dramatic fashion. 8 goals and 21 assists that campaign. He went on to win the Euros with Spain that same year, contributing massively. Oh, he also had the most assists at that tournament too. More on his international career later on in the video. After 29 goal contributions, it was only right City extended his contract, doing so in September, signing a new 5-year deal. It turned out to be a disappointing year for City as United won the Premier League trophy and City was shocked in the FA Cup final by already relegated Wigan. This saw Mancini sacked. Silva did continue his impressive playmaking role, assisting 13 times that campaign. He struggled with a few calf injuries in the 2013-2014 season, but still managed 8 goals and 16 assists as Man City regained the title under Pellegrini. One key change was the positioning. Under Mancini, he featured in 4-5 different positions, but in Pellegrini's derby season, he only featured on the left wing and behind the striker. He enjoyed his best return in front of goal the next season, scoring 12 goals, all 12 in the league, 14 assists to go along with that too. Once again, injuries disrupted his season, but whenever he was on the pitch, he was always 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone technically and mental wise. This saw him set up a further 12 goals for his teammates despite missing 22 games in the 2015-2016 season. Guardiola arrived at City in the summer of 2016 and almost immediately heaped praise on David Silva, stating, "One of the reasons I came to City was to work with special players like David Silva." Across his first 6 seasons with the club, Mancini and Pellegrini used Silva in various attacking positions, but Pep deployed him in a central attacking position 95% of the time. 8 goals and 11 assists were enough for him to be voted City's Player of the Season, ahead of Aguero and De Bruyne. 2017 was a difficult year off the pitch for Silva and his family. Early that year, he was a victim of fraud as someone cloned his ATM card and stole $120,000 from his bank account. That matter was quickly resolved with the thief being arrested and Silva getting his money back. Later that year, his son was born prematurely, which affected his focus massively. He also had to travel to Spain to be with his wife in the middle of the Premier League season. A tough year, but despite everything, he still managed 10 goals and 14 assists. One of those strikes in the League Cup final. City won that and hit 100 points in the league. Silva was named in the PFA Team of the Year. His consistency remained at a high level across his last 2 seasons, playing 90 games, scoring 16 times and assisting 25. He was close to his mid-30s by this point, but his levels never dropped. In his last season at the Etihad, he was named captain after the departure of Kompany. He spent 10 years with the English club, making 436 appearances, scoring 77 goals and assisting 140 times. Silva was part of the City squad that truly kick-started the successful era for the citizens. His ability to control the game and read the plays made him stand out. He knew when to keep possession, when to pick a pass, and when to shoot. He almost never made the wrong decision. To answer that silly question on the thumbnail, yes, I mean he even has a bloody statue outside the stadium. During his time at City, he won 4 Premier League titles, 5 League Cups, 2 FA Cups and 2 Community Shields. He became the youngest player to reach 200 Premier League wins. Internationally, he was part of Spain's golden generation that won 3 tournaments in a row, the World Cup in 2010 and 2 European Championships. He contributed massively, especially at both the Euro tournaments, finishing as the top assist provider and being included in the team of the tournament in Euro 2012. In the words of Xavi, Silva is a spectacular footballer, a vital component, and one of the most talented players Spain has ever produced.